Hello, it's SmallBizDavid here. And the compelling question of today is, why should you publish your YouTube video ebook? And your first question is, wow, what's a YouTube video ebook? And it's a good question. If you follow me, you know that I have been doing YouTubes for a little over a year now. I started in February last year, and now we have over 475 YouTubes about small business information and about starting a business. As you know, those are my main themes that I talk about on a daily basis. And as I was establishing what my major business objectives would be for 2013 back in, I don't know, September or October of last year. It became very obvious to me that it would make a lot of sense for me to publish my third book. The first book I published was 5 years ago. I actually self-published the book, How Do You Answer These 749 Questions About Your Small Business? And when I did the book, I was doing it for business reasons, for marketing reasons, and I'm very happy to say that the end results of everything that we did with the book far exceeded any expectations that I had of publishing the book. And the reason I self-published the book was because it was literally 35 years ago, or 35 years then, that I started my professional career in publishing. And it was always my dream once I got involved in publishing. And publishing wasn't exactly a predestined choice for me. It was something that happened by circumstance. As a matter of fact, I had some publishing in my blood, if you will, because my father, the year I went to college, actually bought a publication. It was his dream, and he was a journalism graduate in his day. It was his dream to someday own his own publication, and he was able to realize that in 1967. And I was very fortunate. At that time, I was a senior in high school, and I was very fortunate. My dad asked me to uh, go with him to actually, he had three meetings about the purchase of the publication that he ultimately bought. And I was able to attend all the meetings, and I listened to uh, the, the buyer, the seller of a publication. At that time was 50 years old, the publication, talking to my father, and my father just getting into the publishing business. So it was a very significant, really, I didn't know how important it was because about 6 years later, actually 5 years later, I got into the publishing business. At any rate, uh, when I started in publishing, it was a dream that I had set for myself to uh, write and publish and market my own book. And it took 35 years to realize that dream, but I did it. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Matter of fact, from the time that I started the book until I was actually holding up a copy of the book, literally was 100 days. A fascinating 100 days of my life where 24 by 7 were dedicated to publishing the book. And it was certainly a proud day on January 1st, 2008. I had party, and I introduced the book to my friends. Actually, the publishing of the book was really the birth of SmallBizDavid, as I remember. And the journey began then. Well, fast forward 3 years after that, I was involved in a collaborative book project, Business Strategies for Explosive Growth in the New Economy, featuring David Leopold, also known as SmallBizDavid, and Brian Tracy. And what a thrill it was for me to get involved in a project with Brian Tracy. He has always been my mentor, my business mentor, my life coach mentor. Didn't know it because we had never met before that day, which was in October 2 years ago. And we had a wonderful interchange, and I shared with him the things that he has taught me, the most important things. I mean, he's taught me 100 things, but I shared with him the most important things, and one of those was a CD that he had on how to write a book. Become a published author at last, Brian Tracy. Learn how to write and publish a book. Decide upon your subject. Organize your content clearly. Follow the 10-step plan for book creation. Find the right publisher. Make your writing jump off the page. 200,000 new books are published each year. You can be one of them, is what he said in this CD that I bought. Probably bought this CD about the same time as I started writing my book. Anyway, it was a wonderful project, and the book became. There were 32 other authors like myself, each one of us writing a chapter under the direction and umbrella, if you will, of Brian Tracy. And for Brian's participation in the project, the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors awarded him a Lifetime Achievement Award. Not only for that book, but for the also almost 60 other books that he had written at the time. I don't think there's a more prolific author than Brian Tracy, and I read a lot of his books. I listened to his tapes. This book, The 100 Absolutely Unbreakable Laws of Business Success. If you follow me, you know I quoted a great deal. If you follow those 100 laws, you will be successful in your business, no doubt. Okay, there was and for my participation in the project, because the book became a bestseller, I got a Quilly Award. What a thrilling night that was! I put on my tuxedo and walked down the red carpet in actually in Hollywood, California, and what a wonderful, wonderful experience that was. Okay, so as I got into my business planning for 2013, I said, I am going to do another book. This time, it's going to be a little bit different than the other two. It's going to be a YouTube video ebook. I've had a lot of YouTubes out there. I've gotten a lot of feedback on them. And the theme, well, actually the title of the book is how do you answer these 749 questions about starting your 2013 business? Kind of looks like the same. I don't know that the cover's going to exactly look like that, but be very similar. And I am going to take the best of the YouTubes, the ones that raised the most questions, got the most views. And oh, by the way, in terms of views, We have had over 4,000 unique views um, in the last 13 months. Over 4,000 unique views, and today we're averaging about 10 views per day. And there's another, and those numbers aren't off the wall. I mean, we hear about the YouTubes that there's one that in 48 hours recently did 1 million views in 48 hours and 24 hours. My intent has never been to necessarily get a lot of folks viewing them. If they did, that was great. But I wanted to make sure that anybody who did view one of my YouTubes had a valuable experience. It was a good use of their time. And to that point, the average view time of one of my YouTubes is much greater than the average YouTube view time all across the board. People say you can't be more than 2 or 3 minutes on a YouTube to get a lot of viewership, and that's probably the case. We have so many YouTubes that we can choose. I think the statistic is every second of every day there are over 40 hours of YouTube's downloaded. I think that's the statistic. Anyway, I'm going to take the best of the best, and I'm going to create an ebook. And I'm going to have those YouTubes transcribed. Someone's going to listen to them and write them down, and those transcriptions will then become my ebook. I will probably publish about maybe as many as 2 ebooks, which don't have. Today, there are more ebooks sold on Amazon than there are printed hardcover and paperback books. There are more ebooks sold than hardbacks and paperbacks combined. That's the impact of using today's technology to publish a book. So I'm doing it. And along the way, these ebooks may or may not generate revenue for me. Obviously, if we can generate revenue, we will. But to that point, my original book, I offer a complimentary PDF download of this book at davidsbarter.com, our online community of landing pages. I offer a download of that book complimentary. So I'm not actually getting any revenue on it, but the revenue that I received from the publishing of my first book certainly covered all my expenses. And I think I had in the neighborhood of $10,000 of printing bills with the book. But more importantly, it got into a lot of hands. It got into a lot of students of entrepreneurship hands, and that was really not initially one of my objectives, but something that evolved as I saw the impact and the power of the book. And I distributed several thousand copies to grade school students, grades 6 through 8, high school students, obviously 9 through 12, and college and university students. And there's no question that it became a good textbook, workbook kind of thing. Well, we're going to really focus on that aspect of it as we publish our YouTube video ebook. How do you answer these 749 questions about your small business? Excuse me. And we're going to, I'm nowhere near the publishing stage yet, although I could create some ebooks because I've got enough material, but I'm going to actually focus on some of the things I learned from Brian Tracy about publishing a traditional book. And nobody knows better than he about publishing a traditional book, things I learned here. And how does those basic learnings and understanding apply to a video ebook? We'll talk about business planning. We'll talk about how do you build your business, how do you sell within your business, how do you market your business. Those are actually our main themes, uh, all under the umbrella of small business collaboration. So that's the general content and where we are going with it. Now, why should you publish your book, your YouTube video ebook? Because it's an opportunity for you to establish yourself with whatever your expertise is, with whatever your passion is, with whatever your intellectual property is. It might be built around a product, it might be built around a hobby, but it's an opportunity for you to share what it is that you have to offer in that particular area. What value can you bring to the marketplace? If somebody buys something from you, what kind of return on resource investment can they expect to receive? So we are going to have classes. Every time that 12 people sign up for publishing their book, we will have an online, real-time, live session with me so that I will get you started, and we'll actually make a YouTube out of that session, and then you will have the opportunity to introduce to the world what it is you're going to be publishing. How much fun is that going to be? And number two, and here's something that is unheard of in the publishing world. Any revenues, excuse me, that you generate on a landing page in David's Barter community, and that's where we'll focus to drive traffic to your page. Any revenues generated there, you will get 92% of those revenues because it's your landing page, it's your content, it's your intellectual property. Never before, unless you self-publish, has anybody been able to receive 92% of, revenues that are generated for their book? It's going to be a fun project. It's going to be a fun project. And there is no question, if you get involved in this, you will move your life forward in the direction that you want to move it. So for more information about it, please visit SmallBizDavidFoundation.org, SmallBizDavidFoundation.org. The foundation, which is not a nonprofit, it's an LLC, it's not a nonprofit yet, it will be someday. It is providing the resources so that you are able to publish your book and generate those kind of revenues. After the $99 and after a trial period of 50 days, a landing page for 50 days, if you decide to continue, you don't have to, but if you do, your cost will be $1 a day. It's that simple. Okay. Thank you for your time today. And please visit smallbizdavidfoundation.org for more information. And feel free to visit davidsbarter.com/smallbizdavid. Actually, I will put in the description of this YouTube, there's a landing page at davidsbarter.com which talks about a YouTube video ebook, and I'll publish that. URL for you. Let's have some fun as you publish your 2013 YouTube video ebook. And why should you? You should because it's the right thing.